Hey guys, I'm Tyler from RE Bikes. I wanted to show you a couple of quick updates on the new Bosch Kiox 400 that works with the Peak 2.0 and any other bike that has the Gen 5 Bosch CX motor. So I'm going to take you through, I'm going to show you a quick install of how to install it on your bike if you've already got a display in there and a placeholder, a couple troubleshooting tips of how to make sure you sync everything up, resyncing the MIDI remote, and a couple features within the display that you can customize that have been really cool, we've been able to play around with a little bit. So I'll take you through the steps one by one and a few troubleshooting ideas to make sure you're set and ready to go. We're going to start by removing the system controller from the bike. If you notice from the bike, it does have this spacer around that is a placeholder for the new Kiox 400. So this comes out with T10, pull your little wire here, pops out pretty simple. This whole system comes together, take all of this out together, set it aside. Grab your new Kiox, make sure the wire comes in here, pretty simple to plug in. They line up pretty well. There is a little guidance line on here. Just tuck them in, take your T10. Simple as that. That's all it takes to install your screen, replace it in and out, super simple. So now we've got it, the Kiox 400 in, start the system up. Again, just got your power button up here, select your language. It's pretty awesome. That's it as far as the Kiox goes. But now because the mini remote is Bluetooth, this acts as your new Bluetooth junction. The Kiox 400 acts as your new Bluetooth junction. We actually have to repair the mini remote, and I'll show you how to do that next. So really simple, we do need to pull the remote off of the bar, the mini remote. You know, it's just a 3mm Allen. This does have a hinge clamp on it, so pull this off the remote. To get it into pairing mode, you do have to remove the battery. That is why we're removing it. So before we get into pairing mode, we actually want to, in our app, in our Flow app, we do need to connect our bike to pair everything together. This is one kind of step that it does need to be done in a sequence. It's easy to go. So you have your Bosch Flow app, you can go to connect your bike. Now in the app, we're going to click the Kiox 400 as our pairing device. Everything's going to be ready to go. We're going to pair our new system here. Put it in Bluetooth mode, you hold down the power button. It will show pairing. And we'll show you how to do this as well on my phone as well. So we're paired, we're really simple, easy to go. As we come to the app, what we're going to do is up at the top here, the very first thing we need to do before we go into anything is you actually have to register the bike. You need to hook your bike to your eBike Flow app through your account. We're going to register it. It's registered to me. This just shows that, hey, this is my bike. Here's my systems. Here's my settings. Here's everything that belongs to me. So if you notice, the screen changed to TC's eBike. What I can do is I can come in here now. I can come to my eBike pass. I come down to components. And if you notice in my screen right now, I've got the controller unit, I've got the drive unit and the battery, but there's no remote, no way to control this. So I'm going to add a new device, and I want to add a mini remote. And when I do this, this is the step. We have to remove the battery, let it sit for about 20 seconds, install the battery. Right up on top, we're going to get a green flashing light. We're immediately going to hold down the minus button for about 5 seconds. Then it will start flashing blue. That means it's in pairing mode, and it will allow us to hook the whole system together. So you have the mini remote off the bike. On the back side here, there's a very, very small Phillips screw. This comes undone to remove the battery. I'm going to take a little pick here, pop this out. It's a little rubber seal you got to get under here. And see how it's flashing red? That means it's actually missing the connection, so that's what we're going to fix. So we're going to take the battery out. We're just going to let it drain. Make sure it just power cycles. We're going to lose make sure we have everything off it. Then what we're going to do, I've got my app here open. We hit the MIDI remote here. So what we want to do with our battery, install our battery. We'll watch these lights here. See how we flash green? Immediately hold down the minus button. Should get a blue light. We're perfect here. We're going to hit mini remote on the app. We're pairing here in the app itself. Hit connect, and it's connecting the device to the bike. Since my bike is already hooked to the app, that's why it pairs so nicely and so easily. We'll put the mini remote back together, reinstall the rubber case for the waterproof rating, back door, put it back on our bike. So now we've got everything paired. We've got a mini remote. If you can see now, we can work through our different buttons and use this to control our e-bike with the screen. I want to show you a couple of the cool features on here. This is in miles per hour right now, but if you want to change it, the button up on your mini remote, you can change everything that you're doing on this as well. You can change through all the different screens, change through all the different modes, power, cadence. You can see all the different things on the bike that it will read back to you. You can, within the app, you can adjust what things are doing. Now, if you sit and take the mini button here, or you can do it on the screen itself, you can actually come into your settings to adjust what happens. So a couple things in your e-bikes. To go forward into a screen, it's one click on the button on the on the remote, and to come back to the previous screen, it's a press and hold. So if we come into my e-bike, we can come in here, we can reset the range. The range will automatically update as you ride the bike. It will continually calculate. You can choose when you want the auto trip to reset. You can make small adjustments in the wheel circumference. This is if you change tire sizes from like a 2.3 to a 2.5, you can adjust these slightly to kind of make up for some of that as well. In the component section, you can go in and see all the different statuses. Here, if you do add the Power More range extender, you can also add it to the bike, so it recognizes that system as well. So I'm going to press and hold to get back out of my e-bike screen. I can come to App Connect. It's going to show here that it's connected to my smartphone and everything's going. From there, I can send reports, I can do tracking, I can do all of the information that you would typically get on a ride. In my display, I can come in here and I can change the status bar. Right now, I've got it set for battery percentage, but if I wanted to come in and I wanted to change it to clock, I can adjust that. I can change it for speed. I can see how fast I'm going. You can change the sounds on here on startup. A few cool options to mess around with this as well. Again, to go back, press and hold the button on your mini remote. Here's one cool thing that I really like is shift enabled. With e-bikes, you're actually the more efficient as you stay in certain cadence zones, how the electric motors work. So you can actually turn this on and off. And what it will show you is if you're pedaling in too high of a gear, meaning not low enough cadence and a lot of power, a little light will actually pop up on the screen that says shift down. It'll tell you when to shift if you're pedaling in too high of a gear. One of the cool little features that I really like on this bike. So we're going to keep that enabled. We can give a trip summary at the end of the ride if we choose to record. You know, we've got a 12-hour. You can change all of your settings. We're going to keep our brightness automatic as we go in and out of trees. You know, evening rides, morning rides, things like that. You can change your units to imperial or metric with all of those settings on the screen itself. This will give you basic information on the bike about the system. With that, that's the easy setup with the Kiox 400. Make sure you're pairing the remote, a couple of the setups. I want to show you a couple of other features in the app that you can go through and customize it even further. We have our update successfully launched onto the bike. So from here, what we're going to do, we are set and ready to go. We're going to move some of the distractions. We've got this here. We got our all of our settings. So now we're going to go into some of the customization options here in the bike. If you notice, the bike will actually restart on us. We're going to start that back up. Make sure that we're connected here. It's pretty normal for the bike to reset like that. So we're going to come into the customization options here in the app. Here, if you'll notice, this is how we had the bike before the setup. We've got Eco, Tour, EMTB, and Turbo. Turbo being the most power. EMTB is kind of a dynamic. Tour is kind of that middle range. You know, it's enough power to get you through a few settings. In Eco, you're really just going to get the most range out of the bike. So now with the new update, the motor has been able to adjust it. I can come into power. I can up the power up to 750 watts. I can customize that. I can come into my torque setting. I can come up to 100 Newton meters of torque. And where that really plays is the torque setting is going to be your lower cadence when you're in those really steep climbs. You're in that torque or power band of the motor. The wattage is actually going to help you stay up and keep up at speed and kind of that mid-stroke and that little bit higher cadence, you know, that 80, 85 and above, where that torque really comes in at that 70 to 85. That's where those kind of peak out on this system. I can change the assistance where it's really the support level that I'm able to get. You know, I can turn that up a little bit. I'm an aggressive rider, so I do like that turbo mode up. The dynamic feel, it really adjusts like how fast it's going to react to you. So if it's like you want just a little bit of power on a start, it's really going to engage. Or if you want to actually, hey, I want to wait till I'm firmly on this bike and ease into it, you can bring it back down. I tend to leave mine kind of neutral in turbo mode. that's one of the cool things on here. I can go in and I can adjust this on every single one of these mode systems here, even all the way down to the Eco and the Tour. Now, one of the cool things on this update is there's actually new additional modes. If I come in here to edit list, I can adjust up to 4 different riding modes. So what I would need to do, so let's take off our Eco and our Tour. What I'm going to add for me is I'm going to add EMTB Plus and Tour Plus. What these systems are is this is similar to kind of the dynamic mode of EMTB, where the motor system will change depending on what I'm doing to it, how it works. You know, the more power I put in, the more power the motor is going to put in. It also allows a very slight overrun. So as you're climbing up really technical sections, that motor is actually going to engage for just a half a second longer to help you get up and over those rock climbs. So this is me, this is my settings. I tend to ride a little more aggressive. If I'm going on my e-bike, I'm going out to cover ground. So those are some of the cool customizations you can do with the new update. You can customize the mapping, you can customize everything here in the app, and what works for you. I hope that shows you some of the features on the new Bosch Kiox 400 display that's compatible with the RE Temp Peak. Wanted to show you some of the key troubleshooting ideas. Just remember, as you dive into this project yourself, you buy it aftermarket, it's really simple to install. You do have to repair the remote. Go back to those settings. You'll see them in the chapter headings. When in doubt, make sure that your bike is registered to your Flow account. That's the #1 troubleshooting option. And then the other thing, you may have to close the app and restart it if something's not connecting. Those are the 2 tips I'd give you to really push through everything. Don't be afraid to mess around with some of the customizations within the app. You can change those around for your liking, for your terrain, for your range. You can find the Kiox 400 on the Temp Peak at rebikes.com. You can also purchase it as well at rebikes.com.